In the heart of Nairobi, where ambition and love often collide, a story of cunning deception began to unfold. Meet Alan, a man with a charming smile and a heart full of greed. His eyes weren't set on love, but on the vast fortune of Brenda, a kind-hearted heiress. He wooed her, married her, and swore to love her forever. But his vows were as hollow as his intentions. Behind Brenda's back, Alan was entangled with another woman, Helen, whose greed matched his own. Together, they saw Brenda not as a wife, but as a golden goose, a ticket to a life of unimaginable luxury. While Brenda was busy building their home with love and trust, Alan and Helen were busy tearing it down with their reckless spending. They splurged on lavish parties, designer clothes, and expensive trips, all funded by Brenda's hard-earned money. They would meet in secret, whispering their wicked plans, their laughter echoing with malice. Their goal was simple: to drain Brenda's wealth and leave her with nothing. Alan played the part of the doting husband perfectly, masking his treachery with sweet words and empty promises, while Helen waited in the shadows, a serpent ready to strike. Brenda, blinded by love, remained blissfully unaware of the storm gathering on her horizon. Just as their web of deceit was tightening, life threw an unexpected twist. Brenda announced she was pregnant. Her joy was pure, a beacon of light in her life. But this news sent Alan and Helen into a panic. A child meant an heir, a direct inheritor to Brenda's fortune, complicating their scheme. But then, another twist. Helen discovered she was also pregnant. A wicked idea, dark and audacious, began to form in their minds. A plan so cruel it could only be born from hearts devoid of compassion. They saw this not as a coincidence, but as an opportunity, a chance to secure their future by stealing Brenda's. The day came when both women went into labor. In the sterile, quiet halls of the hospital, a sinister plot was set in motion. Alan, using his influence and charm, orchestrated the unthinkable. While Brenda was weak and recovering, he and Helen switched the newborn babies. They placed Helen's child in Brenda's arms and took Brenda's rightful heir away. Their logic was cold and calculating. By raising Helen's child as Brenda's, they would ensure that their own bloodline would one day inherit the entire fortune. They left the hospital that day, smug and victorious, believing their master plan was foolproof. But they underestimated Brenda. A mother's instinct is a powerful, primal force. As she held the baby in her arms, a nagging feeling, a cold dread, crept into her heart. Something was wrong. This child, though beautiful, didn't feel like hers. The connection was missing. Looking at the tiny name tag on the baby's wrist, her suspicion grew. Driven by this unshakable feeling, she acted swiftly and silently. Before anyone could notice, she found her own child and, with a heavy heart for the innocent baby left behind, she made the switch back. She took her rightful daughter home, holding her secret close, her love for her child now mixed with a chilling awareness of the betrayal she had faced. She decided to play the long game, biding her time, waiting for the perfect moment to expose the truth. The years flew by. Two girls, born on the same day, grew up in vastly different worlds. Brenda's daughter, named Grace, was raised with love, integrity, and a keen understanding of the business empire she was destined to lead. Brenda poured all her wisdom and strength into her, preparing her for the future. Meanwhile, Helen's daughter, raised by Helen and Alan, grew up believing she was the heiress, entitled and spoiled, her character shaped by the greed of her parents. Alan continued his double life, a charade that lasted for 18 long years, all while Brenda watched, waited, and planned. The day of the girl's 18th birthday arrived, a day of celebration that would soon turn into a day of reckoning. A grand party was held, attended by the city's elite, all gathered to witness a momentous occasion. Brenda, poised and elegant, stood before the crowd. With a proud smile, she made the announcement everyone was waiting for. She was officially handing over the reins of her entire business empire to her beloved daughter, Grace. The room erupted in applause, but across the room, Helen and Alan exchanged triumphant glances. This was the moment they had been waiting for, the culmination of their 18-year-long lie. As Grace stood beside her mother, ready to accept her legacy, Helen could no longer contain herself. She strode to the front, her voice sharp and demanding. "This is a mistake," she declared, a smug smile on her face. "That company belongs to my daughter." The crowd fell into a stunned silence. Alan stood beside her, his face a mask of false confusion. Helen, believing Grace was her own child, demanded her rightful share, claiming the inheritance for the girl she thought was hers. Brenda remained calm, her expression unreadable. She simply said, "Very well. If you are so certain, let's settle this with a DNA test, right here, right now." A medical team, prepared in advance by Brenda, was called forward. The air in the room was thick with tension as samples were taken from Brenda, Grace, and a gleeful Helen. Helen was confident, certain the results would expose Brenda and validate her claim. The results were processed quickly and displayed on a large screen for all to see. The conclusion was undeniable. Grace was, with 99.9% certainty, the biological daughter of Brenda. A wave of confusion washed over the faces of Alan and Helen. It was impossible. They had switched the babies. How could this be? Helen, in a fit of rage and disbelief, shrieked, "The test is a lie. It's fake. I know for a fact that she is my daughter." Her desperation got the better of her. "I should know," she screamed, her voice cracking, "because I switched them myself at the hospital. Alan and I, we switched the babies at birth." A collective gasp swept through the crowd. The confession, born of pure greed and frustration, hung in the air. The wickedness of their deed was laid bare for all to witness. Alan's face turned pale as he realized their entire scheme had just spectacularly imploded. Then, Brenda, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. Her voice was steady, strong, and laced with the pain of 18 years of silent suffering. "Yes, you did switch the babies," she said, her eyes locking onto Helen's, "but you forgot one thing. You forgot about a mother's instinct." She then revealed her side of the story, how she had sensed the deception, how she had found her own child, and switched them back, all while they were celebrating their supposed victory. She had raised her own daughter, her true heir, right under their noses. The crowd looked on, horrified by the couple's cruelty and amazed by Brenda's quiet strength and brilliant counter-move. The aftermath was swift. The security guards, alerted by the commotion, escorted a distraught Helen and a defeated Alan out of the venue. The law would now deal with their conspiracy and fraud. In the days that followed, Brenda filed for divorce, finally freeing herself from the man who had only ever seen her as a bank account. She stood tall, not as a victim, but as a victor. She had not only protected her daughter and her legacy, but had also served justice, proving that the deepest betrayals can be overcome by a mother's love and unwavering resolve. Her story became a legend, a testament to the fact that truth, no matter how long it's buried, will always find its way to the light. Thank you so much for watching our story today. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next video.